So my dad was a hunter and an outdoorsman, and we all went hunting with him, my brothers and I, and he taught us gun safety from the time we were, well, from before I could look through the periscope. In fact, even until the time I was around 10, I thought that if you turned your back on a firearm, that it would load itself. I still remember the first firearm my father got me. It was a 410 shotgun, single shot breech load. And I remember taking it out the first time, being excited about it. I also had to qualify with small arms in the Navy, particularly the Colt 45 and the M14. But I also, before I went into the Navy, I had a neighbor, an older boy that we used to play with from time to time, who took it upon himself to count the clicks on the revolver that his father owned. So he'd spin the cylinder and count the number of clicks and see if he was right about the position of the cylinder. And in fact, he got very good at it. He would began playing Russian roulette, and he knew beforehand by the number of clicks from the cylinder whether or not it was safe to pull the trigger, until one day he tried it with a different firearm, and he took parts of his brain and put them on the ceiling. He survived, but was never the same. And the whole time that I was hearing this story, I mean, I felt sorry for the kid, obviously, but my first reaction wasn't, why were there evil guns in the house? It was, why wasn't he following the gun safety rules? Everybody knows you don't play with a loaded weapon. I remember a debate I was assigned in junior high school where I was given the pro-gun, I guess, position in the debate, and I don't remember the exact arguments I used, but I, to this day, remember the Second Amendment verbatim, and it seemed pretty unambiguous to me. Now, don't get me wrong, if 2/3 of the House and the Senate and 3/4 of the legislatures of the states decide that the Second Amendment needs to be repealed or changed in some way, that's the law of the land, and that's what we'll do. I've heard some people proposing an assault weapons ban or a high-capacity magazine ban, and I don't particularly have a problem with those things as long as they're legally enacted, and as long as they only apply to future sales or production of those types of weapons and those types of magazines. Otherwise, in my opinion, it would be an ex post facto law, which is strictly prohibited by our Constitution. I would even go a little further than these people proposing these bans. I would say that we need to make it mandatory for gun safety courses for anyone purchasing a firearm. After all, not everyone has the benefit of having my father teach me how guns load themselves when you turn your back. In light of the Sandy Hook Elementary School tragedy that recently took place, a lot of people are raising the question, how can we prevent this from happening in the future? To be honest, I don't have that answer. I'm not that smart. But I do know that any proposal for getting this accomplished is not going to be without cost. Either we're going to have to send our children to school in schools that look like Shawshank, or we're going to lose a lot of people trying to take guns from people who legally own them now. The costs are going to be enormous for either of those, both in terms of human costs and money. I don't know, at some point we're going to invent a weapon that won't fire on an unarmed person. That would be great, but I don't have a genie that can make that happen. What I would like, though, is I'd like for you to give some rational opinions about how we can maybe prevent or help slow down incidents like Sandy Hook from happening in the future. I just don't see a way to do it for free. So send me a video, send me an email, write some comments in the comments section. Let me know what you think, what we can do. If you have a great idea, that would be terrific. And as always, get some time on my channel.